Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Outta Savannah. I am super, super excited. My next guest is Carrie Irene Crosby. And I said Irene because that is how we connected, because we both share a middle name. And I always used to tell people that I could tell you that name, but then I'll have to kill you. But Carrie is going to share with you who she is and what she does and how she can help you. So, Carrie, take it away.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for having me, Tammy, and my friend. My name is Carrie Irene, like she said. And I love my name because my first name is my dad's mom's name, and my middle name is my mom's name. So that's how I got my name. Yeah, yeah. So, but I consider myself light. I realize that what I focus on tends to manifest in my life. So as I go through my life, I make sure that I know that I am light because I'm sharing illumination on what I tend to focus on. So in doing that, I also am a creative development coach. I help a lot of coaches and entrepreneurs and leaders to bring their ideas into fruition so it can be something tangible that they can actually see, touch, and taste, and all those things. And also, I'm empowerment speaker. I do empowerment events. I'm getting ready to do one coming up in September 28th. So that's going to be exciting. Yes. And that's it. I'm 45 years old. I live in Huntsville, Alabama, and I'm excited to be here.
Man, that is so cool. So what
Yeah.
is the empowerment event about?
Okay, so I have a group on Facebook, Sacred Queens Society, and it is a group for women who are in that space in life where they're coming into their power and they need somewhere to truly practice that power without someone not supporting it, or without people not buying into it. We get
Yeah,
that a lot, especially amongst society in general. But
yes.
this is a place where women can truly just be in their power in whichever way, shape, or form that is for this point in your life. And as you evolve into something else and something else, we're cheering that on too. We're just cheering each other on. So I put encouragement in there. And I was thinking about, the things that I'm building right now and all the things, the offers that I am giving out to the world. And these are the people, who I have been able to practice my power with and my purpose with. So I just wanted to do something for them, if they were willing to allow me to do so, to just come and hang out. So I'm going to be in Myrtle Beach that weekend. And when I was there, I was like, you know what, while I'm here, I know Myrtle Beach. I lived there for 16 years. So it's like I should do something while I'm here that, other people can enjoy as well. And that's why I came about. I'm gonna do something for my queens. I'm gonna do something for my queens. So it is an event. If you are a part of the Sacred Queen Society, and if you're not, just go on Facebook and hit add and click it and go on and join if you're a woman.
It's a great group.
Great group. And the only criteria for you to come to the thing is to be a part of that group. And it's free. I'm going to feed you, not just food, but I'm going to feed you just affirmations of just joy and love and purpose and
Nice.
empowerment and expansion. And we're just going to have a good time. Maybe throw some music on, sing a couple songs, dance a little bit, and just really let me take care of you and pamper you for the day. So it's September 28th from 5 to 9 p.m. We're renting out a little spot called Fresh Brew Coffee House. It's a nonprofit organization. They feed all of downtown Myrtle Beach, helps the missions and everything. Very good cause. So yeah, everything about it is just going to be amazing. South Carolina at Fresh Brew Coffee House. So be there. All you gotta do is join the group. Just join the group.
Nice. That's going to be so good. So
Oh yeah, it's gonna be.
when you were thinking about this concept,
Mhm.
share that.
Okay, so one of the things that I know for sure is that I'm going to end up back in Myrtle Beach at some point in time. So when I do get there, the reason why I'm going back is because so much about Myrtle Beach, I was able to really get in depth with, like, not necessarily in politics, but I understood the politics of Myrtle Beach from living there so long. And not because of, I was part of any legislation or nothing like that, but just using my eyes, looking and seeing how it's changed, how it's evolved, the things that have been leveled versus the things that have been expanded. All of the things you can look and see politics. You don't have
Yeah,
to be involved or be look at
share
at
that.
every meeting. However, an opportunity presented itself to me where I found myself at those meetings. I was in charge of a nonprofit in Myrtle Beach for 3 years. A lot of people don't know that. So I had to go to the city council meetings, had to go to the, the mayor when he gave his briefing and things of that nature. And I spoke for our organization. I've always been speaking for a long time. And so knowing how Myrtle Beach works and that they truly do have the people at the core of their mission, even though politics get in the way, money gets in the way, I still can see their heart. I see the heart of Myrtle Beach. And I want to be a part of that. The heart, we say a pump, but it's really a valve, I want to be a part of that filtering process when things come in and then what comes out of it on the other end. I want to be a part of that filtering process. So as money pumps into Myrtle Beach, I want to make sure that my nonprofit is set up in a way to honor that money, to honor that revenue that actually comes to that, because it's a big business when it comes to the way Myrtle Beach has set up the way they want to support people. And the way they want to support people is to also support empowerment.
Yes.
So when you're looking at, a lot of people see, oh, they're trying to, move the homeless out, whatever, so like that. I want to be a part of that filtering process, but I want to be set up in a way to where the homeless isn't leaving anywhere. The homeless is gaining skills to buy houses. I want to be a part of the plan that, the homeless, it's not that they're not hungry and they're not eating as much food anymore. I want to teach them skills where they're buying their own groceries.
Yes.
So I know that when I get back to Myrtle Beach, the nonprofit that I'll set up will be bringing people. This is one of the main things Myrtle Beach love, is to bring in people, because I'll be calling my people, my queens and my kings like you and others, to come in and speak to these people, because y'all been blessed with the gift to do so. So that's why I'm starting every event that I can possibly get in Myrtle Beach. And what better way to start than my queens? There's a lot of powerful women in that group. Yeah. And I really do think that the new masculine is feminine.
And you're absolutely right about that. We want to definitely shout that out. If y'all are listening us, listen to what we are saying and listen to what we're not saying. Thank you for saying that. And you believe that it's a safe place for you.
It is. It's a very safe place. So Myrtle Beach to me, it's almost like a respite from what I love. Because a lot of times, even like I always tell people, I have a favorite cake. My favorite cake is pound cake. But if I ate it every single day for the rest of my life, I wouldn't want no more pound cake, because it'd make me sick or something like that. I love fresh water and I love the mountains. But the ocean gives me something that the mountains can never give me. And it's my respite, because I feel like I'm at the edge of the earth. But when I leave there and go to the mountains, I feel like I'm in the center of the earth. You know what I mean? So it's just this balance that will keep me going there, because nothing's going to keep me from the mountains. But I wouldn't go back to the ocean. If I didn't live at the ocean or at the beach, I wouldn't say, "Ooh, I'm going on vacation to the beach." I just wouldn't do it. I feel like it balances me.
And you know what? That's important. It's important to feel the balance, because you're right. Like, I'm not a big mountain person, but because I lived in Arizona, we live right in the mountains in Tucson. We were there and went up there and all that stuff. And it's nice and I think it's beautiful, but it doesn't sit with me like how it sits with you. With me, I'm an ocean girl. Like, I live 15 minutes from the beach now. And so
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, there are days when that's where I have to go. It's like I'm being called, to the ocean. I need to go and sit out there. I need to go and listen to, instructions from the mother, all of these things. So yeah, I get that. I just often, you hear so many things about Myrtle Beach, and I used to live over there too, in Columbia. So I know a little bit. Myrtle Beach was one of my places that sometimes I would get off work in the morning at 7 o'clock, make sure my kids had got on the school bus and stuff like that, and I would drive to Myrtle Beach.
Nice.
2 hours, and sometimes I would just sit in the car on the beach, get out, walk a little bit, depending on the season. Sometimes I just put my seat back on the beach and go to sleep, take a nap so I could drive back. I go get me something to eat. I go to Uncle Benjamin's.
Uncle Benjamin's.
Get me something to eat, get me, that buffet, and then turn around and go back home. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
That's a good little day job.
I
Yeah.
did because I mean, I at the time I didn't have enough money to spend the night, and then I had my kids and stuff, so I couldn't just
Yeah.
spend the night, but I could go for the day, while they were in
Yeah.
school. I didn't have to worry about babysit, none of that other stuff,
Yeah. Absolutely.
and just go. And to
Oh,
me, it
that's a
was
good
like,
setup right there.
yeah, like a reset. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. That's awesome.
so moving forward, what brought you to this place where, where you can see this? Because to me, it sounds like retreats.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That is a big part of it. And more so in the sense of retreating from all the societal pressures really that
Yes.
keeps you from practicing things that you know work for you.
Yes.
I think one of the biggest, we put it in different terms to make it sound, more universal, like peer pressure, societal pressures, but truly it's the fear of being authentic. We know what's best for us. We know what's best for us. And you're not going to convince me that you don't know that going further into doing something because of what you feel someone else or some entity is going to feel about what you're doing is not the main reason you don't do things you know you need to be doing for yourself. And building a community like this is what the point of that is. When I started, my name of my company is ATBA, and that stands for able to be able, because we all are able to do anything. Anything is possible, and we have the ability to create that. But whether we do or not depends on how we use that ability, because we're all able to be able. But do we do what we know is necessary to do, or be who is necessary for us to be in order to create that manifestation? We make it sound so elusive, manifestation. You know what I mean?
They make it
No.
sound hard, girl. They make it sound hard.
Learn it, be it, or do it. It really comes down to that. Whatever it is that you want, learn it, be it, or do it. You want love, be love. Learn how to love, do love. Learn it, be it, do it. Money, you gotta be money. You gotta act fancy. You got to well. You can't buy me. And knowing also in doing it, knowing in embodying it, knowing you're always going to be provided for. I don't need the cow, what they call it, the cattle on the hill or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just as the farmer, and he tell me come stay with me. What is it that why do we have to define these things? So in building ATBA, I knew that there needed to be a place for people to take off
The mask.
the yeah that they didn't even put on. They just agreed to it. We all just agreed to some idea that somebody said something about.
It's like the
You
code
know?
switching. It's like the code switching. I was just talking about that. I said it's like the code switching. And we all do.
Mm-hmm.
Women do it. People of color do
Mm-hmm.
it. We code switch.
Mm-hmm.
When
Mm-hmm.
I always tell them, I laugh, I said, when I'm doing any type of customer service, I always put my white girl on. And that's it.
There's a video out with this dude saying that he's like talking like this, and yes, sir, and there's only insurance, and that's going to be going. And then they said, "Say something." Said, "What you say?"
Exactly. And we all do it, to a level.
But I want to put a caveat in that and just deflate that statement that we all do it. We've all done it.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
It's possible for you not to do it, because I do not do it. Now, I may find myself attempting to do it, but I'm so aware that I'm like, girl, stop.
What you doing?
That feels weird to me. Where usually being authentic is what feels weird. We start to say something and our voice is shaking and we sweating, and then we find ourselves lying about it. We find ourselves, that's all what it is. Like how many times you say, yeah, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. You're lying. You're not kidding. You're not smoothing it over. You're not trying not to make a big deal out of it. You're lying. Because you can just as easily say, I would appreciate if you just didn't do it again. I'm not going to hold it against you, but just don't do that again because it wasn't okay. However, I'm not going to hold it. You didn't let that vibrate any longer than it had to vibrate. But when you say, no, that's fine, it's okay, it's still in you because you lying.
Well, and it's in our energy. And that's really what happens when we get disease. A lot of
Yeah.
times it is just stuck energy. It's just energy that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
blocked inside of you and needs to fucking get out.
Yeah. But you'd be amazed how healing and freeing it is to just speak what's on your mind. Knowing when it's good, especially when you've done the work and gotten rid of a lot of gook and a lot of film and a lot of residue that life has built up. So when you filter through things that come through you, it's not coming out in a nasty way. When you can really come from your heart and know that everything that you said, if you said something that's funny and people don't laugh, you don't feel bad because you genuinely thought it was funny.
You thought it was
What's
funny.
wrong with y'all?
I don't know what's wrong with
The other day,
you.
work at a farmer's market, and we get a lot of customers and guests who are 70, 80 years old. And there's one lady, it's late, it's been Labor Day weekend. I worked yesterday. A lady came through and she had some beer. She thought she had these bags and they were heavy, and I'm holding them and I'm giving to her, and that, but I know they're heavy and I know she needs help, and she's thinking that I'm going to ask her if she needs help with these bags, and I give them to her and I'm saying, now you let me know if you need any help drinking that beer. And when I tell you, she laughed, and I knew she wasn't gonna be able to hold the bag, so I just took the bag and she just leaned over laughing so hard because she thought I was gonna say, let me know if you need any help with those bags. And I was like, let me know if you need help drinking that beer. And she was like, oh my that like come to our mind that are witty that all right. But I want many things that we would just naturally say that may be just the one thing that can break the barrier of any type of misconception we may have about people or how they're going to take us or how we're going to take them. It's just being yourself and getting comfortable there so that you know if something's rolling off of your tongue or if you're trying to force a situation. That's when you figure out what to really say and how to show up and how to be, is when you are comfortable just being who you are, because you can't go wrong with that.
You know what's so funny? Why I'm laughing is the alignment is so, it's just amazing because I just did a video on that. It's
Yeah.
Be You. Something like
Yeah.
Be You Unstoppable, I think it was. And I was
Yeah.
talking about just that, being your authentic self, being who you are. And for
Yeah.
me, it's been a journey, but at this point in my life, I'll be 56 my birthday. I don't care.
Right.
I can't be nothing but who I am. You know what I mean? And there's always, I believe this, that there's always different versions of us.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
like we're always evolving into greater versions
Right.
of ourselves. However,
Yeah.
I don't need you to tell me what that is.
Right. Yeah.
No.
I am expensive.
Yeah.
That's what we all need to embody. I'm expensive. I am
Yes.
forever becoming.
Yes.
Not more, not less, just becoming whatever is necessary in that moment. I may look back on it tomorrow and think that wasn't necessary. It was for
Yes.
yesterday.
Yes.
It is what it is, because
Yes.
now it's just different. It's just every moment is so different.
Yeah.
And we have to be in a place of reverence for each moment in order for us to realize how important each decision that we are making is. And a lot of that decision is, am I going to be me? Am I going to just be authentic? Am I going to be okay with that so I can trust myself again?
I agree with
Yeah.
that because it's so much. Ooh, it's so much bypassing going on. So
Yeah.
much that. And my thing is, for me, I have decided, just like you, that I am the light. And I'm
Yes.
also supposed to open up the gates.
Yes.
No gatekeeping.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to open up the gates and I'm supposed to shine the light. And it's the same as you. That's why we're here.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why
Yeah.
we are here in
Yeah.
this place at this time.
Yeah. 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 So that's why it's so important to realize your ability. You are able to be anything, and truly walk in that gift, because it's one that we all have.
Yes.
It's so equal, power is so equal We only way that it's diminished is when you diversify it the wrong way.
Yes.
You still have what you have, but you've diversified it in a way that you put it in the hands of someone who has no obligation to you to be responsible for the power you give them. They're not responsible for your life. Like, I mean, I'm laughing, but it's only because it's just, you look and you think about the times where you're like, I can't believe like they didn't call me, or I can't believe they didn't see me. I can't believe they didn't love me. They're not, they never were obligated to.
No,
You
it's
were
not
never
their
obligated.
job.
You wanted them to. They said they would. They may have went back on their word, but hey, that's what we're here for. It's to use our word for whatever we want to use our word for. Because you've been in a place before and someone wanted you to stay before. You don't just stay because somebody wants you to stay.
I'm gonna go just because they want me to stay.
Like, get out of here.
I'm that one. Just because you want me to do this, I'm gonna do the opposite.
Yeah, but it's so important to just know that every decision you make is a decision, and it is going to put another notch in the headboard of resources that you have to draw from. We think about the resources that we add up going to classes and stuff like that, but resources doesn't necessarily mean they help. It just means they help assist in situations.
Yes.
So your resource could be flight. Your resource could be cussing someone out. Your resource, because they're used as a resource in order for you to relieve any energy you had surrounding the situation. But we need to make sure that the resources that we're putting the notches on our headboard of life and resources are more positive, like meditating, like going to events like this, like having conversations with Tammi like this. We have to tap into the resources so that we can amplify our ability to tilt the table. Lady Liberty don't lie. All you got to do anytime you're in a situation where you don't really know what to do, you can literally do this exercise. Put your hands out and think of this moment as an equal moment. Nothing has happened yet until it's time for you to make a decision. And when you think about the decision you get ready to make, you know what's good for you. You know what will see you down a detriment. And whichever one weighs the most is the one that wins. Make your decision in your head and put it in one of these hands. If this the hand to go down, don't make it. Don't you do it? Make this decision. Make whatever decision that you know is going to lead you closer to what you want. Is it joy? Is it peace? Is it prosperity? Is it honor? Is it respect? It really comes down to that simple. We are able to create the life that we want, but it's the decisions that we make on a regular day basis that we just throw to the wind.
Well, one thing I know is that a lot of people have no idea what they're in devotion to. What is it that you have to have in your life? You know what I mean? And I can give an example for me. For me, I got to have freedom. I got to have intuition. I got to have healing. And when I say intuition, I mean that still small voice, that is God. I have to have those things in my life. I have to have them. And when I started noticing and recognizing and realizing that those were things that I am in devotion to. And it's funny because at work, that's my password.
Yeah.
Read them at 55.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't even realize until I did. I was like, wait, okay, this is my declaration. Because this is what I'm in devotion to. What many people don't have a clue. They don't know, what is the driving force in their life. And for me, as I started really unpacking freedom, for me, I think about it like I can't be in closed spaces. Like I have one time in the last 20 years been to a bathroom on a plane. Those things are too small. I can't do it. So I go before I get on. I don't drink a lot while I'm on. And when I get off, run into the bathroom, But I don't, because I can't be in those little tiny spaces. Plus, I had a traumatic thing happen to me when I was a child in those bathrooms. So I'm not, I don't do it. You know what I mean? And so I think about that. And even things like, like my ex-husband, I wanted to kill him. And so, but I thought about the fact that I couldn't do prison. There's no way that I could do those closed-in spaces. You can't go outside,
Mm-mm.
no water, I can't get to the ocean. I'm not going to be able to do that. So that would stop
Saved him.
from doing that. And that saved him, stopped me, all of the above. Because I knew that I couldn't handle that because it was against
Mm-hmm.
my core value, which is freedom. But what I find is that working with people, they have no clue. And a lot of times that usually is the first step, is to find out what is your core value. And once they find that out, then they can begin to connect, because that's the other thing. People are disconnected. They're not present. They're not aware, and
Mm-hmm.
so I know
Yeah.
I know with the work that you do, I
Mm-hmm.
know that that's probably something that you have to bring them to even before you can even really do any work.
Right. Well, it's funny. Well, not funny, but ironic that as I keep doing this work, I do find people that's in that upsweep, kind of like I call it the tailspin
Yeah.
of seeing the best way I can put it in terms of, because I don't believe in, and it's a lot of people are like, you don't believe in karma? I don't believe in karma. The best way I can put it is when people realize that karma has come. Karma is whooping their ass, and I call it the tailspin of just decisions that we made coming back around, which is what the
Yes.
infinity symbol is.
Yes.
Everything you touch touches you.
Yes.
It's just a tailspin. So stop touching the stove, and every time it loops around, it won't be so hot. You get me?
Got it.
So I find that everybody is coming from that tailspin, and they can see that the last tailspin is coming around, and they're just trying to hold firm to those positive affirmations so that they don't dip back into the pool of putting things in the side of the lever that's going to cause that tailspin to come around again.
Yes.
Because it's going to come around, but it's going to give you what you've given.
Yes.
So if you continue to make sure that you're giving to life the things that you want to see coming around that tailspin, you welcome the tailspin, because I'm about to reap some good shit. And we need spaces to be able to hold us during these times when these tailspins that of things, bad decisions that we've made are whipping us, and keep saying, I'll meditate with you. I have a room on Tuesday at 2:00. Or I got this class. It's only $17 right now. You can come here and we'll talk about all the energy and moving energy up and down, not just manifestation, but grounding. Because sometimes the main thing, the reason why we can't manifest, it's not because the energy is not coming up, because we stay in our heads too damn much, and now it can't come and plant down.
Yes.
We got this part, the manifesting, the plans and the notebooks and the classes and the courses
The
and the stuff. I'm like,
journals.
what? They're in the clouds with you, because until you land this plane, they can't land your course. So that is what I give. ATBA is people who are coming, who's like, I know I got something and I need to practice this because I don't want to lose it. Just like muscle memory, right? It takes 3 days. You can lift weights for 6 months. It only takes 3 days for that muscle to start to deteriorate.
That's right.
I want you to keep your stamina up while you get whooped to hell by your tailspin and them crazy ass decisions you make, and still have somewhere to practice and not feel like a hypocrite, not have imposter syndrome, we up there saying, you got it, baby. You got it. I
And
don't
have
care if you
love.
was drunk as hell last week. You sober today, and today you about to deliver this speech, and we're going to give you a standing ovation, and you're going to move on to your paying clients.
Yes.
You just got to get through the tailspin.
Yeah.
ATBA, baby.
That is
We
so
on the way.
I love it.
We on the
Love
way.
it. I love it. Because there's so many different people in there with different experiences, is what I noticed.
Yeah.
I've been
Oh,
looking,
yeah.
I look at some of the posts and I'm like, wow, like the one guy that's doing the thing in California with the helping the people with the drugs and stuff like that.
Yep. The
Michael.
fentanyl awareness.
Yes, that's powerful. And
He's
that's
gonna be here in Alabama and on the 21st, I believe it is.
really.
And I emailed him to see, because I GPS it. It's only an hour and 5 minutes away from where I am. And if I can make it, I'm gonna go up there. See, and this is what ATB is all about. I've never done fentanyl all day in my life. I've never done anything more than marijuana in my life. I am a supporter of empowerment no matter what it looks like.
Yeah.
So if you close to me and I can get there, oh, I'm coming. I'm coming. You need me to write a sign. I can put the tablecloths on. Do you want me to take the trash out? Like, it doesn't matter how you show up. Show up. That's what ATBA is all about. Show up, because I'm able. I got this little, me and this little Nissan Versa be on the road. You hear me?
See, and that's that's what inspired me about you. Because I saw that,
Yeah.
like, man, I love her energy. And we just, and then when we vibed, I was like,
Yeah.
man, and
Yeah.
the fact that, we got that beautiful middle name thing.
Irene's in the house, you know what
You
I'm
would have
saying?
never known.
Right.
Oh, but I tell you, it's
Mhm.
is it's just so exciting and refreshing, to come from
Yeah.
this particular perspective, especially considering, where you came from, all the things that you've been,
Yeah.
the life that you've
Yeah.
been, the lessons that we've gotten, and all of the things, because
Yeah.
when you're at a certain space, you don't think you're going to make it.
Oh, we.
You know what I
You
mean?
telling me? Yes, I do.
You don't
Or
think
at
you're
least
going to make
not make it in an ethical way.
that part. Because I
Like,
must
I can make
admit,
it. I can make it, but like you said, I ain't trying to go to jail either, though.
no, I can't. I'm not going to be able to do that. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Or or in a valued way, because a lot of times we can see different ways we can do things on the backs of somebody else too. I
Yeah.
had to really learn that, because I would have this guilt. I would feel like, you don't want to feel like you're taking advantage of people when you're going through hard times, but sometimes you just need help. But you need to differentiate help when it start riding into, girl, you need to get on your own 2 feet, stop relying on people. And I had to teeter-totter that line for a long time and know the difference between the two, because there was a lot of times I needed help, but I would see that help morphing into a dependency. And not just on my part either. Sometimes their part, they like just having you there, and the fact that you ain't got as much as you want to have, because they know as long as you there and you
It'll
ain't
keep you
got,
there.
hello, somebody.
Yeah.
You
I
see what
see
I'm
that kind
saying?
of stuff
Yeah. So
too.
you,
Yeah.
wisdom is the key. It's discerning between what's right and what's wrong, but also what's best. Because sometimes it's teeter-tot. We try to label things as wrong when sometimes it's not wrong. It's not wrong to stay long enough to get your shit together before you leave. That's wisdom.
That is wisdom.
That's wisdom, because a lot of us just want to jump out of our planes with no parachute and then complain to anyone who will listen, because we down there bleeding and trying to push our intestines back in.
Look,
You
and
knew, you
you
knew.
had a safe space. You know what I mean? Because I always I hear that a lot. It's like, do you have a safe space? And a lot of times I'll be in places and I'll read the energy and I'll ask the person, are you in a safe space? And I can always tell whether or not they're telling the truth or not. Typically, they're going to give it away.
Oh yeah.
It's going
Oh
to take
yeah.
a long time to answer you, or, and you're going to know, no, and you're like, okay, you need to get in a safe space, because wherever you
Yeah.
are is not good for you.
Yeah, it's harder to lie than people think. They think just because they can get it out their mouth that their body, like when, is it a book or something? The body keeps score. I haven't read it, but I've heard the phrase and a lot of people talk about it. And it's so very true. The body does,
Yeah.
and oh my goodness, I got acid reflux. No, you got a whole lot of truth in there that you ain't sharing. You know what I mean? Like, I call people out for what it is, because I call myself out. If I got a headache, it's because I've been trying to manifest too hard, because everything is rushing to my head. In any way, it could be you're trying to manifest healing, you're trying to manifest good grades. Think about people who study too hard. They always got a freaking headache. Yeah, because been up there so long.
Because you stay in your head.
It's so much. It's so much. So expect parents get a lot of headaches because they stay in their head about their children. It's just,
See, I never
the
did. And
kids giving me a headache. No, your
I was
thoughts
gonna say,
about your kids.
I'm grateful. I never did. I hardly ever had
Yeah.
headaches when I had kids.
That's
Because you
good.
know what? I felt like, and I guess too, on that, I felt like I was the best mother I could be. I didn't have any guilt anywhere around it, because I made
Yes.
sacrifices that a lot of people didn't make, for my kids. Like,
Yeah.
I could have went to school. I could have been done school by, way years
Yeah.
ago and stuff like that.
Right.
I decided not to sacrifice my children. I
Right.
felt like
Yeah.
they meant something, and I had to, be there to raise them, and take them to places and be mom taxi, and so they could,
Mom taxi.
yeah, all that, and take them back and forth, make sure they went to church and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any regrets about that either. I'm like, they got what they needed. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
And I wholeheartedly believe that. And because you were coming from a place when you were experiencing that you were making sure that they felt that, because it filtered through that, they got that.
Yeah.
You see how that worked?
Yes.
Because so many people will do the same thing and they'll think mama is a hag. She's always around. But because she's probably filtering through, I wish I was doing something else. I wish I could go somewhere. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because my mom was the opposite. My mom was gone a lot. I raised myself in a lot of situations, but because the filter that I got from her was such a one of power, she gave me a gift, because that's why I can teach authenticity so much, because I learned it at such a young age. Because I was by myself so much, it allowed me to really form who I was without a lot of distraction.
Yeah. And that,
There wasn't
to
a
me,
lot of people
that was the
around
greatest
telling me, do
gift.
this, do that. Oh, you have
You
no
know?
idea. Like,
I mean,
because even
honestly,
things that she said to me that could have hurt me or tore me down, it didn't bother me, because I'm thinking, that's not my mom saying that. That's Evelyn Crosby, who has come to conclusions about this, that, or the other. That's just sharing her opinion with Carrie Irene Crosby. You know what I mean? Like, she's not my mother trying to influence me to do something or another. She let me know how she feel about some shit, and I can choose to change or not change. And I have not changed, because I know she loves me, because I'm a cool motherfucker. You hear me? I am a great person. I just am. But it's because I'm purposely a great person. I love being a great person. I've
mhm.
always have been, because I've been able to sit back for so long and see the outcomes for good people. They may not have a lot, but man, the life that they live is one of such peace, such harmony, such grace. It's like they're gliding through life.
Yeah.
One of the best compliments I ever got is someone said, when Bruno be on stage and he be moving all fluid on stage, I feel like Bruno Mars is your spirit animal. I'm like, perfect. That's the kind of spirit animal I want to be.
No,
Okay.
that's right.
Thank you. Yeah. But it's like there's a certain swag to peace that you just can't get anywhere else.
I agree.
And
I'm
that's true
the
authenticity.
same.
Yeah.
The same.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I always tell people, I said peace is priceless. And I'm
Oh
so
yeah.
serious about that. And I'm so serious about mine. That's why
Yeah. Yeah.
my spaces are small, my circles are small. I don't got a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm good like that. You know, I,
Yeah.
I can people at certain times and points, but
People.
I just peopled for 7 days, and so now I'm peopled out. So I
I
won't
get
be
that. I
peopling
get
this
that
week.
so hard. I don't blame you. I get that. I get that.
Woo! Because when you be around a lot of people and all that energy, and
It's
ooh,
a lot. It's a
no.
lot. I saw one of my friends had posted on her stories. I hadn't seen the stories in a while, and she was somewhere, and she was showing this view of this wherever she was. There were so many people, and the only thing I texted her was like, "Wow, that's a lot of people. Like that is."
And now we think,
Ooh,
ooh, that might be a COVID fest.
care if everybody COVID tested, vaccinated, 100 done tested negative. I don't like people touching me for no reason. And I almost feel like when they do, I have to touch myself where they touch me. So I would spend all night being like this. And who got time for that? I would have a good time.
I'm very similar. Like ooh, when I was a little girl, I knew I was something. Because,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
just
funny because my daughter is exactly that way. She does not like just random people touching her.
don't touch me. Yeah,
So
don't
I
do
make
that.
them,
Don't do that.
when she was young, I would make them leave her the hell alone, because people would, especially
Yeah.
grown people, and she was like,
Mm-hmm.
She told me one day, she said, "Mommy, can you tell whether people are good or bad? Can you look at people and tell whether they're good or bad?" And I didn't answer, and I said, "Can you?" She said, "Yeah." She was about 8 or 9. 10 maybe.
Yeah.
And
And
at that
yeah,
moment, I was like,
she
okay,
can.
so I
Yeah.
never made, you know how people say, oh, go hug Uncle Johnny. No, she didn't want to hug him. I didn't make her.
No, absolutely not. That's creepy. You know what I mean? Just because somebody your uncle don't mean you know who they are. I don't know. Uncle just my foot.
Especially if it was
Yeah, I
somebody
don't know,
one you never
John.
met.
Like, John, you better back up. Ain't no
Look,
Johnny around here.
girl,
Hey,
she would
John.
get this look on her face, and people would they would just leave her alone.
Yeah, very good. That's good. You need to keep that.
All right, we're gonna land this plane. So what I want you to do is, I have a question that I ask everyone before we disembark.
Okay.
So the question is, if there was anything in the world that you could change, what would that be and why?
I must say, and I know this is, I'm not even gonna preface it.
Don't preface it.
There's nothing, there's nothing that can change. There's nothing that can change. And when I say that, I don't mean that the trajectory of life can't be changed. But there's nothing that has happened that can be changed. And one of the things I've been teaching myself is that anything that I can see, anything that I can say, anything that I can touch and taste is already old news. But what it is that I focus more so on is what I do next, what I say next, because I know that the moment that I do, that's the only change that I can make. But it's something that happens before it happens. So if you stay ahead of it, you can always benefit from it. Know that every decision that I make is the only change that I can even make. Because once it's done, it's done.
Yeah. I get that.
And that is a beautiful thing because it keeps you in creation mode.
Yes. I actually love that perspective. And I thought when you first started, I thought you said something I had already heard similar, because honestly, that question, I have not gotten the same answer. And I probably have asked it in at least 100 interviews. And so I thought it was the same, but because one young lady said she wouldn't change anything. And so I was like, okay. And so she explained why and all that stuff. And then when you said that, I was like, okay, because nothing can change.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Honestly, you're right, because we are living in different universes, like parallel realities. So even if this is like this here, it doesn't have to be like this here.
And every right now dictates everything seen in any reality.
Yes.
Any. Doesn't matter which one you're in, which level you on. Every right now affects every right now.
Yes. See, that's such a powerful
change.
thing.
It's
Such
a beautiful
powerful
thing.
thing.
It's a beautiful, yeah, it is. It really is. It makes you think, like, okay, so what part of what will be seen do I want to contribute to?
Yes. What I laugh, I think about it like almost like this. What side of history do I want to be on?
Yeah. Yes, you're exactly right.
Or really, what side of her story do I want to be on?
Yeah.
You know?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And we do get to decide.
Yes.
We really do. We're able.
And the thing that I love about this work is sometimes that is really what you have to do. You just have to help people to get to the place where they know that they get to decide. And I had posted that on permission, and that flowed through me. So I was like, oh my God, we have to give ourselves permission, because over all of these different years, and depending on how you grew up, and especially as a woman, all of these different years and all of this stuff, we had to get permission. We had to get our father or our husband to buy a car and a house up until what, 76, 75? I laughed when I realized it was in my lifetime. I was like, I'm born in the 60s. Yeah.
Right.
You had to
And
get permission.
Yeah, and that alone should show you how powerful decision making is.
Yeah.
Because one day someone decided, no,
We're not going to do that.
no, we're not gonna do this no more.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is that simple. You one day, and everything that you feel like is holding you back, everything that you feel like is a problem, everything that you feel like is the reason why you ain't where you are, one day you're gonna say, I'm no longer gonna give this thing the power to convince me that I can't make a decision that will get me beyond this point in the direction that I want to go.
Mm.
Period.
Ooh, sis, that went all through my body.
It'll free you. It will free you.
Because that really is. It's like, I don't know about you, but when that part hit me, because I was all struggling, trying to, because I looked at where I came from, and I looked at, I looked at the pattern in my life, walking away.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and I
ma'am.
realized that is my pattern. It's the overarching theme in my life. When things look crazy and stuff starts happening, I just dip. Jobs, relationships, all of it. I'm out. I'm going to, it disturbs my peace, but I had to realize that. And I didn't realize it until after I wrote the book.
Right. Because once you put it out there, you saw it.
Yeah. And still it wasn't right away.
Yeah.
Still, it almost was like,
that's why I call it the tailspin.
Yeah.
Everything that we do is, think of it as like a roller coaster, right? You see the fair, and when you start the roller coaster, you're pointing here. You can see all the food vendors here. But when you turn on the roller coaster, then you can see the ride. Then you turn, then you see the parking lot. Eventually, you got to get back to where you started. So everything that was behind you, you're going to eventually see in front of you. Because once you make a decision, it becomes a past. But once you evolve, it becomes what you see. It becomes what you see. That's what manifestation is all about. You got to start putting things in your past that you want to see. So when you tailspin, it ain't a smack in the face. It's a caress.
Yes.
Like you going by like, whoop.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's infinity symbol. That's what it looks like. When you see that infinity symbol, everywhere it touch, it's not necessarily a touching because it's like you're going down and giving high five. It touches you because it hits something inside of you.
Yes.
So if you see something that in this tail spinning and it touches you in a negative way, it's because that's some negative stuff that you are releasing. Whether it was you were filtering through the negative in you, or you were spewing it, like being mad, cussing, or you could have been in a great place and you praying every day, but you praying about grief, you're not praying about the joy that you want, you're not praying about the healing you want, you're praying about the problems you're going through. You still get
so you're manifesting the problems is what you're doing.
Girl,
it's a vicious cycle.
And then we wonder why, oh my God, that reminded me of such and such that passed away last week. And I had a whole mental breakdown because you're constantly filtering your reverence and love for them through grief and sadness instead of amplifying the joy you had with them and the good memories. You can see them. You can commune with them without having a breakdown and still experience grief, but in a way of acceptance. We all say grief comes in stages. Pick one though.
The thing is and the thing about that is you don't even have to always go through all of them. It's not linear shit. You know what I mean? It's not linear.
No, not even.
Sometimes close. I believe that, because I felt this thing yesterday about my grandmother. And I was actually on a live and I broke down because it just hit me, but it wasn't like a grief.
Right.
Like I missed her physical presence, but because I commune with her on a regular basis, because she is one of my guys, I don't have that type of loss. Just like I think we're off. I'm not one of those people that believe in going to see people at the cemetery.
See them. Go see them.
They're not there.
I guess a meetup.
Right. Or
They can
people
meet
go
you
and
in your bedroom quicker.
I was gonna say they go sit down at the cemetery and then they talk to the whoever the person and all that. I'm like, talk to them at home. I mean, be a little more comfortable.
Light you a candle, get that picture, have you a good cry. Because like you said, tears doesn't equal depression.
No.
Tears doesn't equal,
Sometimes tears is
the
joy.
depths of despair. Oh my gosh. Or relief, just relief,
Yeah.
reverence, just the way that you show your love. Like, I mean, there's
Yes.
been so many times where I just think about how grateful I am and I start crying.
What you
That ain't
talking
got nothing
about?
to do with being,
Oh, I think
evolving
about
from the
how good
mind.
God is and how, how so many things, like I know at least on two occasions that I could have been unalived. You know what I mean? And I think
You
about
telling me
it, I'm
what?
so grateful. I'm like, man, wow. And I mean, and the tears just flow because I'm so grateful.
No, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And I'm right there with you. And it would have been because of my own hand, because I was in that suicidal, point. Shoot, and I tell this to people all the time. I was at a point where I was convinced that it was better to kill myself than be myself. And you talk about realization about being authentic. When you come to a place where you realize that you truly thought it was a bad. Now, let's listen to this just in the simplest terms. I convinced myself it was better for me, who I am, to be dead than to just be who I am alive. Now, there's something funny about that, right? Because I put someone else's wishes for my life above my own. It's my life. So
Yes.
if I take that power that I have over my life and hand it to someone else, I've diversified my power. And now what am I left with? Death? No. Like, don't get me wrong, I ain't got nothing against death, quite honestly. Now that I've
Um,
come to the realization of what that really means.
that's what I was
It's
going to
not, but I
say.
would
Even
never,
no
it would
fear.
never be my option to just die, to kill myself.
No.
That's murder. I would be murdering me because the chapter that I wrote in the book was burying the murderer in me, because
Hey,
that would have been a hate crime against me. You're gay, so I'm going to kill you. I ain't gonna better to know a bigot out there. You see what I'm saying?
but
Like, I have
but
that in me.
people think that though. Lots of
Mm-hmm.
people.
Oh, I know. I
I
thought.
mean, that because that's not even, I wouldn't even call that a perspective shift. I would call that almost like a pendulum swing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was like
Mm-hmm.
that's a huge action, because
Yeah.
think about it in that way, because so many people don't. And I honestly, I have had thoughts, but I never got past that because I think, I'm the same way with being in prison and being in small spaces and stuff like that. It's like, no, I'm not interested in causing my own self pain. And then because I've seen
Mm-hmm.
so many botched ones,
Mm-hmm.
so they couldn't even kill themselves. And then
Mm-hmm. Nobody. Yeah.
they end up in facilities like where I work at. No, not
Mm-hmm.
interested in any of that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. It's like, no. However, I do understand how you can feel that way because I have felt that way. Like when I was
Right.
in the middle
Yeah.
of, marriage to my starter husband. I felt
Yeah.
that way. I was like, I don't think I'm worth anything. I didn't feel worthy.
Yeah.
And when and
Yeah.
I know that when you feel worthless, then you can do some of those things.
You absolutely can. And that just goes right back down to the core of what we're talking about. Just being able to make decisions, knowing that every decision that you make for yourself is building up a stamina of authenticity. And if your stamina is in the direction of what other people think, you're building their muscle of the cloud that's over your head versus the ground on which you stand. And you
Yes.
gotta build that up from within yourself. And if it takes you isolate it. If it takes a class, take a class. If it takes a reading, get a reading. If it takes a coach, get a coach. If it takes church, go to church. Whatever it takes to get you started
Yes.
on a trajectory of making decisions that's based solely on what you need for yourself, baby, do it.
And
Got to do it for
that's
yourself.
it, and that's one of the things that I preach, because that is one of those bypassing things. People say,
Yeah.
oh, well, I mean, I can only just go to the priest, or I can just go to the Reiki
Mm,
person, or I can just go to the hoodoo priest practitioner, or I can just go here. No, you can do whatever you want to do, whatever works for you,
yeah.
whatever you need,
Yeah.
and don't feel
Yeah.
bad about any way that you decide to do it, because really
Absolutely.
it's your decision. And this is
Right.
for me, because I see so much of it, in these fields. It's like, oh, well, you have to do this and you have to do it that way and you have to do it that way. It's kind of like some of the
Mhm.
things that you were sharing earlier, Carrie, about, oh, well, you can just sit down, light a candle, blah, blah, blah. Or you cannot.
Yeah. Or you cannot. You can go to sleep and think about them until you fall asleep and meet them there. There's so many different ways that
So
you
many
can,
ways. So many ways.
handle things or try things or experience things. I did scrying once in my life, and I do feel, called. I've said this for a while. I feel called to do it again, but it hasn't been the moment. Like and let me explain what scrying is. Scrying is, just the same way as what you would do is if you were looking into a crystal ball. But the method that I used was I got fresh spring water, put it in a natural pot, like it needs to be natural copper or tin, like just one cast iron, even just a natural pot. Turn all the lights off, you light a candle behind you, and then you look into the thing. So it gives the same effect. The cloudiness is like a crystal ball, but I like natural stuff.
And what
Like,
what
so
what
I
does it
did
do for
water.
you? Share what it does for you.
It is something that so that you can tap into messages from whomever, wherever, for whatever, and I had been going through some things. I got my palm read. I was researching some things because I was going through some spiritual things at the time, and it was not long after my dad passed away, and I didn't know if maybe I didn't know what it was. I always just felt a presence. I always knew something was around. I was like, if you something you want to tell me or whoever it is, just tell me so we can get this over with. Like, what is it? And I was research. That's the attitude I went to. I know somebody trying to say something to me, and I need y'all to say it so I can not feel whatever this is, because it didn't feel bad, but it was like, like the little brother or sister that's not touching you, but almost touching you, and they're
Yeah.
not even bothering you, but just
Uh-huh.
the presence, you can just feel like,
You can feel their breath on
give me a
you.
little, give me a little room, give me a room. And I felt that. So I did this scrying, and what I saw, first and foremost, the latest epiphany I got about it is the fact that I'm looking forward. And the best way I can describe it is, and it's funny that I can describe it this way, because I just looked at the Matrix for the first time about 3 weeks ago, like ever. Never seen the Matrix before.
What?
Yeah. I saw it for the first time about 3 weeks ago.
So the
And you
first
know
one?
how the very first one, I made sure I researched what the progress was of it, so I could make sure I watched it from the beginning forward. That's the only one I've seen so far. So I've seen that one.
That was one of the best
But
ones.
okay, well, good, because I did. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
I loved it.
And they talk about like the different evolution of being aware, and they said one of the things that when you go through these changes, you can experience 360 vision. And I experienced that, and I didn't realize that's what I experienced until I started researching years later, which was when I looked at the Matrix and I started researching. I'm like, that's what I saw, because I'm looking down into this bowl and I literally could see everything around me, and I saw figures behind me coming up behind me, and it was just like a multitude of them, but they were all solid black shadows. And the thing that I thought of, the first thing I thought of was demons and the ghosts. You remember the movie Ghost?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Knowing and learning about things and whatever, I realized those are my resources. I got some resources back there, and they were coming to let me know that through it all, we got your back. And it's not a we as in individuals, it's a we as in strength, courage, empowerment, expansion. These were figures of resources that I know that's there for me to tap into at any time. But we tend to put them in bodies. I need my mama for this, my daddy for this, my sister for this, my husband, my wife for this, my kids for this, the doctor for this, the preacher for this, like you're talking about, the Reiki for this for this. Only thing that's needed for any of those things is me, because I got all my resources. You know what I mean? Everything that we need, and we got to stop putting so much power into the power we have to discern what doctor, discern what parent, discern what friend, discern what, and we give them the power of us having good discernment.
That is so real.
That's our power.
Mm-hmm.
That's your power.
That's,
if you choose me for a good friend and I'm a good friend, that's your power. That's my power. That's your power that you can pick me out as a good friend.
That's the mission.
Able to be able. We're all able to tap into this energy, but we're so scared to step on God's toes. Those are your toes.
Girl, you know I could talk to you all day.
I know, we gotta go. We gotta go.
I was gonna say, because this right here is my jam. I mean, I geek out on that. I don't know if you saw my face, but I'm like, this is the stuff, because you can't talk to everybody about this. And then when you said you saw the Matrix, I said, oh my God. I said, she saw the Matrix now? Oh my God. Girl, my kids actually bought me the collection, except for the last that last one, which they could keep that. But all the other ones, my kids bought me the collection, because I have seen the Matrix, I don't know, probably 100 Matter of fact, when you said that, I was like, it might be time for me to watch the Matrix again.
Yep, that's probably exactly what it is. It's time. It's Matrix time.
I'm telling you, because I always tell people, because they say, oh, well, okay, this is the one they tell me. I said, well, yeah, I'm about to retire. Oh, you can't retire yet. You too young. I said, retirement does not take age. Retirement takes money. Don't you know?
Now you got that right. You better say what you know, mean what you say. Oh no, because baby, there people that are retired at 30.
That's what I was gonna say. I was looking at some kids; they were like 38, retired. Had came in with Bill Gates, Microsoft and stuff, and did all those profit sharing and all that stuff. Took their money and ran with it. So I was like, no, you don't tell me. I was like, I am not working for nobody till I'm 60 nothing.
Yeah, I know that's right. That's too much. That's too far.
I tell them, I say, no, because one girl, she actually sat down and gave me the years. Oh, you got to be 62 and this and that. I said, no, I don't. No, I don't. It's like when the doctor told me, oh, you pre-diabetic. I said, no, I'm not. And she said, well, yes, you're pre-diabetic. I said, no, I'm not. I think I said that thing times, and she finally left me alone.
Yeah. And the difference between a lot of people who say that and claim that are the ones that are willing to learn, be, and do. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me, but if I know what I did that made you show up in my life to tell me that, I also know what I could do to make you disappear.
That part.
Oh, goodbye.
That is
you keep that.
That is so real. Oh my God. If y'all didn't get anything else, get that. Go back and hit the rewind and listen to that. Y'all, I'm telling you, this has been so much fire. I want you to tell the people what you're doing, especially the thing that you're happening in Myrtle Beach, but anything that you're enrolling people in, or you're looking for people to join you, any of that kind of stuff. Share what you got going on.
Okay, well, really, I think the main thing is the two groups that I have. One is a public group. It's a community group. It's ATBA Impact Group. I will post a link in the comments on YouTube, here on YouTube. I also share it when I share it to Facebook. I'll put it in the comments as well. It is just a group of empowerment. Oh yeah, absolutely. And then also my women's group is Sacred Space. So I just changed the name. It's Sacred Space Society. Now it's Sacred Queens Society. And we are having a free event. Free. September 28th. The only criteria is that you got to be a part of the group, because I need to know that you're a real person. And then you can get inside of that and get all the details. But it is September 28th in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're going to feed you. We're going to speak life into you. We're going to fellowship, have a good time. There is an optional drum circle afterwards. We're going to go down to the beach and have a drum circle, light some incense, listen to some good music, just commune and vibe and have a good time. So, and also at the coffee shop, it is an alcohol-free event also. So, but afterwards, hey, you do whatever you want to do after that. When we get to the beach, you're on your own. So, but I would encourage all the queens to come and have a good time, especially if you consider yourself a leader in any sort of the word. I'm not talking about just business, in your household, in your community, in your church, in your school. These are the people who really need to be fed into, because we give so much. And
Yes.
I just want you queens to come and relax and not have to clean up afterwards and wash the. I'm gonna do it. I got it. Sit down, listen to the music, have a good time. Y'all go on down to the beach. I'll meet y'all in a little bit. I'm gonna clean this up. I just want to cater to you just for a day, 5 to 9. So I look forward to touching base with anybody, whether it's you want to collaborate, whether it's community stuff or empowerment things. Just let me know. Again, you can find me on Facebook, Carrie Irene.
Awesome. That's what I was going to tell you.
Yes.
The best place to contact you. All right.
Facebook.
So y'all, if y'all are like me, I am almost full. This was such a divine opportunity, and I am so grateful to my sis Carrie for coming on and sharing her light with us, and just being her authentic self, which I knew she was because she always is. And I know that you can see it even through the screen, or you can hear it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much for joining us on Straight Outta Savannah. I am just so grateful that you chose to spend time listening to us today. So again, thank you so much. Bye now. So I am so glad that you joined me on Straight Outta Savannah, and I hope that this was a conversation that you will not soon forget. We had such a great time. My guest, Carrie Irene Crosby, and I, we just flowed, and I believe the energy was so powerful that it was difficult for us to even disembark. But we did, and here we are. And so, if you are a spiritual entrepreneur and you would like to get your message out there, come and join me on Straight Outta Savannah. So send me a message on whatever platform you are listening to this, or you can, of course, look at the details in the video and find my email, and you can email me and let me know, or you can find me on any of the platforms. On TikTok, it's Intuitive Tammi. On YouTube, it's Intuitive Tammi. On Facebook, it's just Tammi Morrison. On Instagram, it is Intuitive Tammi 56. So any of those places you can send me a message, or you can comment below the video as well on YouTube. But suffice it to say, if you are wanting to get your message out and you are a spiritual entrepreneur, someone helping people to shift, a psychic, a medium, a channeler, a holistic healer, a numerologist, an astrologist, a human design expert, anybody else? Astrologer. It, yeah, I think that's it. And anybody that is a holistic practitioner, a quantum healer, anything like that. If you would like to get your message out and you would like to share on Straight Outta Savannah, make sure that you reach out to me. So again, thank you so much for joining me. And if you are also interested in a healing session with me, also reach out to me, because I do have specials for my healing sessions. I have a 10% discount for those of you that mentioned that you heard it on this podcast. So again, thank you so much for joining me. And I hope that your day is magical and that you are able to shift and change in even a tiny way by watching this particular show. Thank you so much. Bye now.